Hey guys, it's Gazi here. Welcome back to another video. This is a VOD commentary on Ice World Extreme. This will be a guide slash Spellsword perspective video. We chose to go into Ice World Extreme with 14 players, 2 tanks, 3 healers, and 9 TPS. Now, the reason why we didn't choose to use a bladestorm as an off tank is because we felt it was much safer to use 2 tanks, and the bladestorm that is off tanking will almost always be frozen. He's not able to do DPS. Similar to hard mode, cultivation will come out at about 20 seconds, and the timer to check for cultivation is exactly 30 seconds into the fight. And players that are assigned to do cultivation has to be linked accordingly. Ice World Extreme and Ice World Hard are extremely similar with similar mechanics, with an exception of one new minigame. And all the skills are a lot more punishing. I will talk about the markers in a bit. The circles are coming out. The players that are not linked should stay away from players that are linked to avoid circles forming under them. Tank is standing at where the owl head is, and make sure he's facing the right direction. Fair wind comes out. Keep in mind, you will get frozen upon reaching 5 stacks. So what we chose to do is we had the Bard AoE cleanse at about 3 stacks into Fairy Wind, and then at the end, everybody else will pop their own cleanse. This X wave comes out. There are places where you can stand to avoid taking damage, like for example where I'm standing right over here. But if you're not confident on whether if you could dodge it, then I recommend only taking one. Do not move around to take all 3. It is extremely dangerous. In this raid, because we have 3 ranged spell swords, all of us held our burst to prepare for this icicle stage. So we're gonna go close to the air wall to dodge all the icicles, come back in, drop our burst, and get everybody out of the ice sculptures, mainly the melee players. Now, if you are a ranged player and if you unfortunately get hit by this, it is quite difficult to break you out of the ice because they're quite tanky. What the Reaper healers can do is they can actually drag your ice sculpture beneath the boss, so everybody can help hit it. The tank's gonna come in to take the shared cultivation journey along with the main tank, similar to hard mode, and we're gonna prepare for phase 2. The boss is going to get knocked at approximately 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the fight, right after this circle right over here. Make sure you're taking no more than 2 with defensives. And he's gonna get knocked right about now, I believe. And after this knock, he's gonna go into the minigame. Now, the difference between hard mode and extreme mode is that the players that are linked will remain to be linked for the remainder of the minigame. So you have to watch out for that. The players that are linked can actually stay away from the group, from the middle, up until after the laser, and they can come in afterwards to make sure they're safe. Now, here's when the new minigame comes in. You see a lot of indicators around the center of the boss. Each player is going to get assigned a element on their buff window, party window, and their buff window, being iron, wood, water, fire, and earth. And when the shield comes out to dodge the lasers, all the players with the same element has to go into the same shield. Otherwise, the shield will get broken by the laser beam. So right after this, we're going to see our elements. I got the element fire. Conveniently, it is the firecracker shield. How the shields work is that whoever goes in first will die the shield according to what element he is. We're all screaming because this dumbass tank don't know where he's supposed to go. And almost caused a wipe. So, for example, if you are a fire, you go into one shield, he's going to go into red, and then if another player comes in, but he's not fire, then the shield will change color, and it's going to be a lot of problems. Phase 2 comes in. Keep in mind the players that did the cultivation in phase 1 cannot do the cultivation again in phase 2. We actually did something a little cheeky in phase 2. We broke the cultivation, but this is much more difficult to do in extreme mode. Only classes that has a over 70% reduction skill is able to break this link. So ranged spellswords, summoners, and also Reaper healers that can prevent death can break this. But make sure you are shielded by Bard before you break it, because even with 70% reduction, you're taking at around 15k damage to break the link. So you have to communicate with your healers accordingly. If everyone comes out, Bard's gonna AoE cleanse. Actually, I'm holding my cleanse over here because I'm waiting for the call for my Bard to do the break. He's gonna top us off and shield us. Shield comes out now. We're gonna pop defensives and break it. So you see, with a shield that is over half my HP and 70% reduction, I was almost dead. So communication is key over here. Icicle is gonna come out once again. Some of us held our burst. We're gonna dodge the icicles close to the air wall. Pop our burst and get everybody out right away. I'm checking to see if any player got frozen at a really awkward place. Oh, this guy I forgot to mention in phase 1. All the melee has to step away from the boss at about 6 to 8 meters. It is easier for range to dodge a spell if you just move your camera like I did. That's pretty much it for phase 2. Healers should always prioritize getting the off tank out. You don't ever have to cleanse the main tank. You should always prioritize getting all the ranged, especially that players that are linked. Make sure the off tank is always free from ice so that he can soak the cultivation with the main tank. If the main tank takes the cultivation by himself, he will get a debuff that decreases his skill invulnerability by 50% for 30 seconds, I believe. And it's pretty dangerous when that happens. At around 7 minutes and 10 seconds into the fight, the boss is gonna get knocked, and after this knock, he's gonna go into the next minigame. In this minigame, we huddle towards the NPC Chang Wei, who is the closest to the entrance of the boss. After this, because it is the easiest spot for us to dodge all the waves coming out from the ice hubs. Once again, we're gonna get a indicator of an element. All the players with the same element has to go into the same wall. If you're having trouble identifying the color with the elements, probably just go by the color. So iron would be yellow, wood would be green, and then blue, red, and brown, etc., etc. So we're gonna huddle towards Chanwei over here. This is the easiest place to dodge all the waves. You can choose to interrupt the resonances, the hubs, to get a few less waves, but it's not a huge deal. Now when this new hub comes out, right over now, when it comes out, the tank should prep to go into the center of the map to prepare pulling the boss, because otherwise the first shared cultivation journey will be facing at a really awkward direction. Phase 3 begins. I'm making sure I'm standing clear from the people that are linked because I'm not assigned to be linked. The timer to check for cultivation for phase 3 is 9 minutes and 10 seconds exactly. So if you want, you can finish your burst first. What we're discussing in comms is that we are prepping Call of the Wolf and Comprehensive Defense for when players that are linked, because the DPS check is quite big on this boss. So every little DPS matters. Especially because we chose to use 2 tanks for this fight. All the players that are linked together has to move with each other to go into these circles to stay alive. make sure you are communicating comms on which direction you're going. One trick that you can use is that you can have one set of link partners always go to the closer one, and then one will always go to the further one to avoid any confusions. Circles come on again, they're gonna move together, they're discussing comms on which direction they want to go. This X wave over here, do not eat more than one, otherwise you will die. Once again, I am holding my burst along with all the other Spellswords to make sure after the icicle stage everybody is free from ice. Now this healer really shouldn't be standing where I am, but that's okay. Nothing bad happened. We're gonna get everybody out, and we're gonna make a final push for the boss. This thing melee, get out, 6 to 8 meters, range, stand in these tight little spaces. That's pretty much it for this boss. It's very similar to hard mode with the exception of one new minigame. DPS check is there, it's quite hard. With 2 tanks and 14 players, I believe everybody has to do at around 6.6k DPS. Enrage timer for this boss is around 11 minutes and 45 seconds. And yeah, that's it for this boss. All the link players did around 9k, 8k to 9k. Everybody else did over 6.5. The Reaper only did 5.6, but I think she messed up a little bit. It's not a huge deal. With our DPS, we passed it 30 seconds before the enrage. So I mean, it was a lot of fun playing this boss. I really enjoyed filming and hitting this boss. It was quite fun for me. Hope you guys liked the video. I'm going to look to do this type of content for all new content that's coming out on Swords of Legends. Please let me know what you guys think. But for now, happy soloing and peace out.